Let me tell you a slightly uncomfortable truth. Your bank doesn't actually want you completely broke, but they also don't want you financially secure. They want something much more profitable. They want you slightly broke. Just broke enough to rely on their credit cards. Just broke enough to pay overdraft fees. Just broke enough to need loans when life goes wrong. And there's one specific number that quietly breaks this entire system. A number where the relationship between you and your bank completely changes. Today I'm going to show you why hitting $20,000 in savings changes everything, and why banks secretly hate when you cross that line. Let me tell you a slightly uncomfortable truth. Your bank doesn't actually want you completely broke, but they also don't want you financially secure either. What they want is something much more profitable. They want you a little bit broke. Just broke enough to need their products. Just broke enough to rely on their credit cards. Just broke enough to pay fees. Just broke enough to borrow money when life surprises you. Because that middle zone is where banks make the most money. But there is a number that quietly breaks that system. A number where the relationship between you and your bank completely changes. For most people, that number is about $20,000 in savings. And once you cross it, money starts working very differently. Let's simplify money today. Imagine living with almost no savings. Your brain is constantly running calculations. If I fill the gas tank today, can I still buy groceries tomorrow? If this bill clears tonight, will my account survive until Friday? How many days until the next paycheck? Every small problem becomes a financial emergency. Your tire blows out. Crisis. Your laptop dies the week you need it for work.
Disaster.
A medical bill shows up.
Panic.
You're not living. You're surviving. And something interesting happens to your brain when money feels this tight. Your attention narrows. Every decision becomes urgent. Every dollar becomes emotional. You start optimizing for survival instead of opportunity. And when you're stuck in that mode long enough, it begins to feel normal. And millions of people live in this state every single day. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. There's a moment when that pressure suddenly drops. A number where emergencies stop feeling like disasters and start feeling like inconveniences. For most households, that number is around $20,000, not $250,000, not even $75,000, just $20,000 sitting safely in savings. And crossing that line changes more than you think, because money doesn't just change your bank balance. It changes your decision speed, confidence, and tolerance for risk. For many households, $20,000 represents about 4 to 6 months of living expenses. That's not a starter emergency fund. That's the real version. It means one single problem can't destroy your finances. Your transmission fails. Annoying, but manageable. You suddenly need dental work. Stressful, but covered. Your company lays people off. Now you have time. Time to breathe. Time to search for something better. Time to make smart decisions. That constant background anxiety finally quiets down. And when that anxiety disappears, people start thinking differently about their lives. They negotiate harder. They stop accepting terrible deals. They stop saying yes to things they don't actually want. But something else happens too. Something banks don't love. You become a much less profitable customer. Most people think banks make money from rich customers, but a massive amount of profit actually comes from financial stress. Let's look at a few examples. Overdraft fees. Banks collect billions every year from overdraft fees. Your balance drops to $8. A charge hits. Now you're negative. And suddenly the bank charges you $35. You paid $35 because you were short $8. But when you have $20,000 sitting in savings, overdrafts basically disappear. That cushion catches everything, which means the bank earns zero overdraft fees from you. Emergency borrowing. When people have no savings, emergencies force bad choices. Payday loans, personal loans, high-interest credit cards. When you're desperate, you don't shop around. You just need money. And lenders know it, because urgency removes negotiation. But if you have $20,000 saved, your furnace breaks. You pay for it. No loan, no interest, no profit for the bank. Credit card interest. Millions of people carry balances month after month. Interest quietly stacks up in the background. A few $1,000s on a credit card can cost hundreds or even thousands per year in interest. But people with solid savings rarely carry balances. They still use credit cards. They still collect rewards. But they pay the full balance every month. Inside the credit card industry, these customers even have a nickname. They call them deadbeats. Not because they're irresponsible, but because they aren't profitable. Account fees. Some banks charge monthly maintenance fees unless your balance stays above a certain level. When someone lives paycheck to paycheck, their account dips below that minimum constantly. So they get hit with $10 or $15 fees every month. But once you have $20,000 in savings, minimum balance rules stop mattering. Another profit stream disappears. But the most important change isn't financial. It's mental. Below $20,000, most people operate from what I call survival brain. Every decision is defensive. What if something goes wrong? What if I can't cover this bill? What if my income drops? Your brain is constantly calculating risk. But once you cross that savings line, something changes. You enter breathing room brain. And breathing room is more powerful than most people realize. Because breathing room creates patience. And patience creates leverage. You're not rich. You're not flying private. But you finally have options. And options create power. Imagine your boss treats you terribly. Long hours. Constant criticism. Zero respect. If you have no savings, you're trapped. You need the paycheck. Leaving isn't an option. But if you have $20,000 in the bank, everything changes. Because now you're negotiating from stability instead of fear. You could walk away tomorrow and still have months to find something better.
Same job.
Same boss. Completely different power dynamic. That's what financial breathing room does. Here, money works for you. Now the obvious question. How do you actually reach $20,000? If you're starting from zero, the number feels huge. But the path is simpler than people think. Step 1. Find your margin. Look at your income and expenses. Even if there's only $75 left over each month, that's your starting point. Step 2. Automate it. Set up an automatic transfer the same day your paycheck arrives. Money moves to savings before you even notice it. Step 3. Treat savings like a bill. Not optional. Not if there's something left. A payment to your future self. Step 4. Capture windfalls. Tax refunds. Bonuses. Unexpected cash. Send it straight into savings. And finally, remove one expense that doesn't matter to you. Everyone has one. A forgotten subscription. A membership you barely use. A habit that quietly drains money.
Cut it.
Redirect it. Let's say you save $350 per month. That's $4,200 per year. In under 5 years, you reach $20,000. And those 5 years are going to pass anyway. The only question is what your bank balance looks like when they do. Here's the funny thing. Once the number starts growing, it becomes addictive. You look for new ways to add to it. You keep raises instead of upgrading your lifestyle. You stop wasting money on things you don't actually care about. Momentum builds. Most people hit the goal faster than they expected. And when they do, everything shifts. Stress drops, options expand, and suddenly, the bank isn't making much money from you anymore. You go from being the product to being the customer. Let's be clear. $20,000 isn't retirement money. It's not generational wealth, but it is a powerful milestone. Below that line, you're playing defense, dodging fees, reacting to emergencies, hoping nothing goes wrong. Above it, you finally play offense, building wealth, making smarter decisions, taking opportunities instead of avoiding disasters. Banks quietly rely on millions of people staying below that line. But every dollar you save pushes you closer to financial breathing room. And if you understand this, you change your financial life.